national doubles championship. This past year, Al Torres played with Paul Williams against the Lonegans. It went to the tiebreaker in the 1991 edition. It looked like Lonegan and his brother were going no place in the tiebreaker at 5-4. Paul Williams kept jumping into cement, trying to retrieve shots. It's even on the cover of the Handball magazine. He disrupted his body. And by the time he went back to receive the next serve, he was still disoriented, missed 2 shots. Torres thought he was cracking up. The score went to 7-4 Lonegans. Torres thought he had to take charge, put himself out of position because he was tired. And the upshot was the Lonegan brothers, by continuing the pressure, won the tiebreaker and the championship. So sometimes it doesn't pay to dive into the cement trying to retrieve everything. All the great champions I've ever known, Hershkowitz, Oscar Obert, Steve Sandler, Al Torres, never dove into the cement to get a ball. Why? They had wonderful anticipation. They didn't have to jump into the cement. They were right on top of the ball. And if a ball, for some reason, were out of their way, they would elect, making the correct decision, to let the guy score the point to get up, because they knew they were still in control. If you jump after the ball and you slam your knee, or you slam your body, or you slam your elbow, you can lose the match just on that. But the beauty of those players that I mentioned was they had tremendous anticipation. They watched the moves of the opponent as they were hitting the ball, and they positioned themselves rather well so they didn't have to jump for it. Torres just hit a ball that looked like it was going out, but it was only a long. The way it started out, it looked like it was going out, but he must have had some reverse spin on it. You see the bounce shot? Again, they hit the bounce shot to Torres, and again it paid off. Now, if they move this serve back, they should move it back to Torres. Now they're playing, you never... I'll tell you another principle of doubles as soon as this volley's over. Strange. He's not bouncing it at Torres. He's getting into a volley with Lonegan. Big mistake. And then they trap themselves in a very bad shot. Here's the fundamental of doubles play. As a general principle, you never return the ball to the man who has just served it. He is in the best position in front court, having put the ball out to you 34 feet out or so. That's why you don't return it to the man who serves. You try and lift it, and you try, if you have a definitive shot, to hit it to his partner who is now coming on the court, because the rule is his partner can't come on the court until the ball passes him. That means that whole right side in this case would be open. If the right side is open, you don't return it to the man who's serving, and you're right in the volley without any effort at all. But bottom line, they're inexperienced. Hopefully they'll learn, hopefully from this tape. Now, as we pan around, if we panned around before and we pan around now, we can see that the attention span of most of the spectators has diminished. Apparently they have other things to do. Tomorrow being Monday, they have to do their laundry, and they have to prepare themselves for the work week. Keep in mind now, Al Torres, champion in the late age of 40. 41, 42, 43, all the way to age 47, and now perhaps 48. Unbelievable talent. Look at that physique. Look at those shoulders. Look at those trim legs. Look at the musculature on his arms, his triceps and biceps. He uses leverage to get behind the ball. He uses precise timing to move the ball. There he hit one shot to the right corner, the second shot to the left corner. But the other team is not putting any force, they're not giving him stretch. Al Torres typically doesn't miss that. But had he gotten it back, Sastry still hasn't put the ball at his feet. Happily, they hit the ball more to Torres. That's where the pressure is. No, you can't lower it to Torres at that level. Sheldon has an obligation here, being the right side man, to keep the pressure on the opposing team, to bounce that ball right at Torres' feet with a slight angle, hitting it from the right side. No, he lowered it again. No good, no good. That's your bounces?
Block, he moved.
The question wasn't a block, it was whether or not he got it on 1 or 2 bounces. Knowing Lonergan, I think he got it. This is the type of ball on this type of surface that seems to float there a little bit. We'll never know, will we?
No, we have it on camera. We could actually know.
No, we won't know. The camera can't pick up that nuance. The way you would know is to reflect upon the faces of the person who was involved in the play, and you'll see sort of a sheepish look, and you know that he didn't get it. Lonergan came back with an air of superiority, which meant he did get it. My conclusion. And with this type of ball and this type of surface, I believe he did get it. As the game goes on, the ball gets a little wet. It sort of floats a little bit more. It gets a little soggy and doesn't react the way it would when it was dry at the beginning. This is also a factor that makes it stay on the wall a little longer, where you can retrieve it. See, Sastry hit it to Torres, but he didn't hit it, give him a bounce shot. He hit it to Torres 3 times, and he hasn't once hit the bounce shot. He hit too low, and he hit one at his body. Not good enough. Sastry has to back up, let the ball, speed of the ball diminish, and then pound it right at Torres' feet at a slight angle. The angle comes naturally. Torres is on the right, Sastry's on the left. It's a natural angle. Let's see what he does now. What's he thinking about? He thought about an ace, knowing that the referee at the short line may be dozing. He opted to go for the ace, and he got it. I think it was over the line, though.
Oh, you think it was? I didn't think
Sure, it did. Don't be confused by the dark line there. That's a line in front of the short line, which is a white line, which is hard to see from this angle. Again, Sheldon playing Lonergan for some reason.
That's got to be their strategy because it's consistent. Obviously, I've talked about it.
But look what happens as a result of it. By playing Lonergan, Torres is able to move forward. And then if they get frustrated or fatigued, they lower the ball to Torres rather than having the power to bounce it at him. See that? He spun that ball with outside English so that it moved from the middle to the left. The opponent thinks that it's coming straight. Robert Sastry hit that ball so hard. It is very difficult because there's a reflection off the wall that affects the white line. If you're not precisely on line with the sideline, you'll get a double image and you'll think it's either good or out. These are the things that referees have to learn over time. The rules and the nuances of what the ball and the players can do.
You keep on making the same mistakes. It's frustrating to see somebody.
Well, there's an inner voice now coming into play. A little voice is saying to the back team, remember you lost the first game? Remember you're losing this game? And that feeds on itself. Hit it!
No, don't do that.
I don't think that play had anything to do with anything. It was just a play that Torres tried to get a shot and missed it. It won't have any impact on what happens from now on. He still has not bounced the ball. When he lowers it to Lonergan, Lonergan gets everything back. That's his job. He does it beautifully. Torres came in with a bomb. Oh, how nice. Lonergan and Torres, having won the first game and they were ahead 12-4 in this game. You see the short game favors a fellow like Torres. They're in perfect mesh now, Lonergan and Torres. Had this game gone to 21 or to 25, you would have seen a trend taking place. The younger guys would have come on. But now, because they lost a short 15-point game and they know they have to win this short 15-point game, puts a lot of unnecessary pressure on them. They really can't perform the way they would have in a regular game of 21 points or a special game of 25. punched a low ball to Torres' corner. Torres was there, but since it was to his opposite hand, Sheldon got away with it.
All he had to do was to get the line and hit it hard.
All Sheldon really had to do was hit the ball in front of himself. They tend to hit the ball away from themselves when the best play is to hit it in front of yourself. It's a perfect block. Unlegal. See, Sastry is boxed in on the right side. If it's for naught, absolutely nothing happens when you do it that way. Now, because they're so far behind, Sastry is going to overswing, thinking he has to make a lot of points. I don't think that was a block. Torres seemed to be standing still. And I don't think Sheldon was in position to play the ball. But they do have a fault. Keep in mind, one more fault, they lose the serve. Sastry is trying to do the virtual impossible now. He's going to try and take command of this game and win it by himself. My brother Oscar always did that. He took command, and my job as his partner was not to make a mistake. Unfortunately, this young man doesn't have the expertise of Oscar Robert to roll out 8 out of 10, sometimes 9 out of 10 shots in a row with either hand. He was incredible. What a player. There's the frustration factor setting in. It's that little voice saying, where do you think you're going this game? So you just swing, hoping for the best. There's nothing to do with handball and making a comeback.
Good looking, baby. Let's go.
Al Torres correctly let that ball go, and indeed it went outside. Point game for the match. See that? Lonigan correctly moved back. He'll keep the ball in play. They're still playing Lonigan for some reason. But look at that terrible, terrible shot. He doesn't want to miss, so he just toyed it back. Very low percentage shot, a half volley kill shot. If anybody misses, it's going to be Sheldon. Unless Sastry goes for a kill shot in frustration. Uh-oh, here it comes. Oops. That was a do-or-die effort by the back team. They know if they miss that, the whole match is over. So now they have one down. They called a timeout. As my brother Carl said before, when the team is on a run, what you want to do is call a timeout, hopefully to unsettle the game plan of the other team that's running on full throttle. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I think in this particular game, having 14, having won the first game, I think the team of Sastry and Sheldon are probably frustrated. But you never can tell what will happen. I've seen games like this, and an injury came into play. One guy went down and lost the game. There's always the unpredictable. One guy can come up with a bad shoulder, a bad elbow. He can come up with a bad angle, even a bad ankle. My good friend Matthew Paris has been very, very patient here. He usually asks these intriguing questions during the timeout. He's going to ask one now.
What would you do if you were so straight and then what would you say?
I would probably go over to the official, take out the checkbook, and congratulate the other team. Inexperienced as they are, they didn't do too poorly. They tried to be physical, but if the other team has a lefty and a righty on that team with all their strength in the middle, and you don't have the capacity to angle the ball to get them out of the middle, plus the fact that the front team has all that tournament experience, plus the fact that the back team hasn't played that much together, and remember, doubles is a game where you must blend to become one on the court. They haven't done any of those things, but they have put in a good appearance.
I think your point was very well taken. And, they put all the volley in at Lonigan. They did not attack Torres, who's obviously tired. Strategically, it seems to me they probably lost about 7 or 8 points because of not presenting a dedicated attack plan that at least could give them the optimal advantage.
I remember in situations like this, not only the Cleveland episode that we mentioned before, but many others, my brothers and I would be behind in the score, losing the first game, losing the second game, and by God, you know, the only thing that kept us going? There was the third brother on the outside cheering us on, and we on the court cheering each other on, saying we could do it. Even if we might not have believed we could do it, we wanted to give that message to the opponents. That's something very important to keep in mind. Keep cheering on your partner. Keep going. Say, come on, we can do it. Get one. Things like that.
Okay, they hit him 3 times this game.
Some of the great matches of the past, the serve was exchanged 7 times. We once played Davey Norwood and Steve Sandler in the finals of the game, Oscar and I. 7 times the score, the serves were exchanged. And that's 2 serves per team. And we prevailed and made that definitive shot. So anything can happen, anything can stabilize. But I don't think the kids have enough equipment to do that. He's still continuing to play Lonergan. You see now the Suarez Lonergan team are content to play this game. They don't care. Look at that. He gets every ball back. Look how he does that job.
They gave Torres a shot again.
I think, playing back the tape in my own mind, I think that's only the second shot that Paul Lonergan has missed in both games. He missed one early on in the first game, and I believe he got everything back unless it was a great shot by their opponents, which was not retrievable. Torres again with the switch. When he moves from left to right, he switches his shoulder and goes for the left corner. When he moves from right to left, he goes to the right corner. Second serve. Short ball. Beautiful shot by Torres. You see that? Lonergan said, come on out. It's point game, match point. And he goes for an ace and wins. Paul, in a little while, come on. Okay, we want the players to have a little respite here after their victory, which was well deserved. I think all the experience that they brought to the game gave them the championship. Championship in 1974, and since that time, right through 1991, has been one of the top competitors, not only in singles, but also in doubles with his esteemed partner, Artie Ryer. They've won many, many doubles championships, not only in the Open, but also in the Masters. He brings a certain sense to this game about using one valuable technique, the ability to make that ball spin on the serve, and then having total awareness on the return to end the volley in his favor. So what I'm going to ask Al right now is, what do you think is the essence of top doubles play?
It's playing. You got to be on the wall. You got to win it up front. That's the whole key.
Very good.
In front of the guy, and that's the whole drive. You get a good partner that can drive for you.
You showed it.
Yeah.
You led them right into
it.
it.
Yeah.
You kept them up. You went on the wall. You
One
put it away.
shooter, you always need somebody to keep their game balanced. Nice.
Al, how do you keep your game so sharp, though? What do you do to be so sharp? I've seen you play for so many years. I don't want to say how many, but you always come to the game, always in condition, and not only that, but your concentration and the sharpness of your shots are always there. How do you do that?
Mostly mental lifestyle. You know, I don't really get to play that often, so it's mostly.
You mean I can improve my game by being a couch potato?
No,
just by thinking about being better?
I do a little bit. My job, I guess I do a lot of walking, but it's mostly the attitude you gotta have. You gotta come in to win with that attitude.
Very excellent. What about the fact that you play during the heat of the summer, and then when the winter comes, you also play indoors, and you have a close group of top competitors that might tend to keep you sharp?
Very good, yeah. We play Wally Olbrich. We got a nice group. Yeah, we've been playing nice games.
I don't want to ask you an embarrassing question, but who, other than the man you played with today, was your best all-time doubles partner? Okay. Unfortunately, Artie isn't here because he'd have a lot to add to this discussion. Do you have any special diet that you follow to stay in shape?
Yeah, she keeps me on a special diet. Vegetable, you know, like
Is that so?
everything lean, yeah.
Very good. What do you do for fun when you go on vacation? Do you play handball or do you just rest?
A little tennis.
You play a little tennis. Excellent.
I enjoy tennis. This isn't on Super. So unfortunately, we picked a game that does not pay, you know, but...
Just one last question. I asked this question of the other fellas. What, in your judgment, do you think we have to do to promote one-wall handball in New York City?
You have to get younger kids involved.
How do you think we can do that?
Making a little tournament, just so you get some interested in...
Exhibitions?
Yeah, exhibitions, whatever.
Would you be available for coming down and putting on a clinic? That's great. That's wonderful. Thanks so much, Al. I don't. A pleasure to see you. Good luck in the future and congratulations on your win. Is Paul there? Okay.
He played excellent. The way it should be played.
Okay, Carl, you want to interview Paul?
No. His mental attitude. I came here to win. And he focuses in on it. That's what we were talking about before.
Right, he's an intense person.
Game is never over.
Paul Lonergan will be with us in a few minutes. I think he's tying up his sneakers. Not that we're going to get his sneakers into focus. But David Sheldon, would you step over here a second? Being a top tournament competitor and also the winner of, I believe it was the National B Championship. Okay. David is a very young man. He's a scholar. He goes to St. John's University. More importantly, he's the son of Charlie Sheldon, a longtime competitor who we had on the camera before. My question to David is, having seen your dad play for so many years, what is it that you picked up about the game of handball that would be helpful to your own game?
I would say play tough every point. That's what my father does. He never gives up.
That's great.
No matter what the score.
And now the second question is, which is more favorite of yours, singles or doubles?
I like singles a lot better.
You do. Now, assuming you had to play doubles, what is it that you would tell your partner before the game or during the game in order to motivate him to get you to victory?
I would have to say, don't worry about any outside things. Concentrate just on the game. Don't worry about any kind of bad calls. Just play the game as hard as you can.
What did you think about the fact that this championship round was only 15 points, and then if it went to a third game, only 11 points? What effect do you think that had on your overall strategy?
Well, 15 points, you had to get a big lead, because if you were down by a large margin, then the game would be over.
So anything can happen in a short game, and typically it's hard to get back into the game to try and win it. And Torres, being a little older, he loved the shorter game, and therefore he poured all his energy into the first part of the game and then hoped to hold on to the lead, if any. Is that right?
Right.
Okay. Thanks a lot, David Sheldon.
Okay.
Young man, may I have your comments? Would you step right over here?
Very interesting game.
Just before we get your response to anything, I want to know your name.
My name is Eddie Masonet. I played in the last nationals that you threw here.
Okay, was it the hardball or the softball?
The hardball.
Okay, now where did you first learn how to play handball, Eddie?
Well, I actually started playing the pink ball. Pink ball around 8 years old. 27 now. So
Wow, you've been at this game a long time. And where did you play most of your handball?
most of my handball I played in Brooklyn.
Where in Brooklyn?
The Park Slope area, like 3rd Avenue.
Okay.
Or Triangle Park.
Were you the top player in those areas?
I was one of the best, yeah.
That was singles?
Yeah, singles, doubles.
Okay. Do you still prefer to play with the hard ball rather than the softball?
Yes, I do. I do. The hard ball, as long as we can, it can stay pretty consistent. Because
Very good.
balls are inconsistent.
Very good point. What high school did you play for?
Aviation high school.
Very good. And you had a good coach who tried to help you out?
Very decent coach.
Now, knowing there's about 90 high schools in the New York City area, and knowing that each team has about 9 people on it, say 6 fellas and 3 girls, what, in your opinion, do we have to do in order to promote one-wall handball in New York?
Promote one more. We have to open up more tournaments to them, and we really have to get more involved in their activities. As
Beautiful.
Far as, bringing them flyers, so to speak.
Have you ever personally run a tournament?
More interesting.
Have you ever been part of running a tournament?
No, not really. No.
Who's the
But
guy?
I've had friends who have.
What's the name of that person who might have done that?
His name was Willie Cabrera.
Uh-huh. Now, you look like you're in pretty great shape at 27 years old.
No, thank you.
Do you attribute that only to playing handball, or do you work out with weights or run?
I'm in bowling.
Are you?
A little bit of everything. Basketball. Even as a little kid, I used to play stickball. Like,
But having said that, and knowing that a game like handball needs total concentration, do you feel you should, if you want to be tops in this game, you should concentrate only on handball and not do the bowling or whatever else there is?
well, I guess it depends on the person. You know.
Oh, you think you could?
There are a lot of people like the triathlon.
Very good
You know,
point.
people that
Excellent
that
answer.
They enjoy all sorts of sports.
Excellent
so
answer.
As long as you enjoy everything you do, I think it can become.
Great.
For instance, Bo Jackson, for instance, he
Wow.
plays great football and
Wow.
great baseball. So why can't you play great basketball and great handball?
Have you ever played four wall?
I just played with Eric Carmen.
Oh, did you? You know Eric.
Yeah.
That's great.
I played with him about a week ago.
He's a top flight player.
Yeah. He gave me a lot of great pointers, and I think I might get into the game. So
Excellent.
who knows? Maybe Eddie Mason might be the next football player in the future.
I'm so happy that you happened by, and thanks for your great comments about this sport. Just 1 minute. Paul, we're now going to introduce the 1991 National One-Wall Doubles Champion. He won that championship with his brother. His brother has a family, and his brother's name is? Joe. So the tandem of Joe and Paul Lonergan are perhaps the first brother team in a long time to make a dent in the higher echelon of one-wall play. He won this championship today because his brother is very busy. So he teamed up with Al Torres, who is a top-flight competitor, who, as a matter of fact, made the finals of the same championship that Paul and his brother Joe won. What I want Paul to think about now is what goes through his mind when he's used to playing doubles with his brother, who he knows fairly well because they grew up together, as opposed to playing with a high talented guy like Al Torres that he might not know as well internally. What goes through your mind on that question?
My role reversal. It's with Joe, I have to beat a volley. With Al Torres, I don't have to beat a volley. He stays in the middle and he keeps the ball going to either side. I just got to retrieve for Al and pound it as hard as I can at their weekend. But with Joe, I have to